Jaden Fody is ringside with more game time information.
My name is Jaden Fody, and Michigan and Wisconsin are back in action after a dominating performance last night by the Wolverines, handing Wisconsin their largest loss of the season and their first loss since November. Although Wisconsin boasts the best defense in the country, Michigan's defense was the one that stood out last night. Michigan goalie Jake Barczewski saved a season-high 42 out of 43 shots, 18 of those coming in the third period, powering his team to a convincing victory. Wisconsin's defense will be put to the test tonight as Michigan looks to complete the series sweep in their final matchup against each other of the season. Back to the booth.
Thank you, Jaden, and we are underway. 19:43 to go in the first period. Already in the Badger zone. Wisconsin will move it back out. Barczewski stops it behind the Michigan net. How about these Wolverine jerseys tonight? Mays with the blue highlights. Badgers an opportunity. There's a quick shot. Barczewski, his first save of the evening. Michigan plays it in the corner. Brindley looking for it and pokes it out into the neutral zone. Picked up by Dexheimer, and a delayed penalty brings us a whistle.
Yeah, Gavin Brindley got the stick knocked out of his hand when he was trying to run down the boards over there by number 14, Joe Polodichuk.
He'll head to the box. Michigan yesterday was very aggressive offensively, and they've got a strong power play unit. Not the spot you want to be in if you're Michigan down to man for the next Wisconsin down to man for the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, Wisconsin's got the best penalty kill in college hockey. However, on 2 chances last night, Michigan had 1 power play goal, so you never want to give them the chance.
And they'll start here. Brindley rips one off the blocker of Kyle McClellan. 26 saves for him last night, 4 goals allowed. Wolverines move it around. McGroarty cross ice up to Casey at the point. Low to McGroarty, one-timer. Duke was looking for a tip. Nothing comes. Casey keeps it in at the far side blue line. Badgers get a stick on it. It was Daniel Latch poking it out. Here's an opportunity. Looking for Owen Lindmark, Florida Panthers draft pick, and he couldn't get there in time. 40 seconds down on the power play, 1:20 to go. Hughes cuts in, bumps it back off the boards to Casey. He'll use a move and moves it back down low. McGroarty tipped in front. Duke will score. Dylan Duke finds the rebound 1 minute and 34 seconds into the game.
Yeah, that's Dylan Duke's office right there in front of the net. He likes to plant himself in front of the goalie, especially on those power plays, and grab those rebounds as he did right there.
The best penalty kill in the nation cannot survive the Michigan power play.
They are now 2 for 3 on the power play this weekend, the Wolverines, so the penalty kill is no stand for the Michigan power play.
There's Dylan Duke watching his replay on the video board. We just got the replay here on your screen a moment ago, and you see how well Michigan moves that puck around the offensive zone.
Yeah, especially on the power play when they have an extra man, a lot of open space down there.
It's important to note, Wisconsin has not yet lost a game in which they scored the first goal of the evening. Michigan struck first last night. They put up 3 in the first period. Turnover in the corner, out to Finley. He'll rip one. It's under the glove of Barczewski. Wisconsin scores.
Quick response from Wisconsin there. That's exactly what you're looking for and exactly what you need if you're the Badgers.
Quinn Finley finds the puck in prime position. Puts a lot of meat on the shot. Let's take another look at the replay. There's Ethan Edwards trying to hold on to the puck. Errant pass, quickly tapped over. Finley's at the point. It just slips right under the glove of Barczewski.
Yeah, it looked like Barczewski's view was a little obstructed by his defenders there, but great shot by Finley.
So Michigan strikes first. Wisconsin responds quickly. We're even at 1. 17:59 to go in the first period.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Wisconsin is undefeated when scoring first in the game, but Michigan is also undefeated when leading after the first period. So this first frame is really important for both teams.
Fantilli dumps it in for the Wolverines. Shifsky to chase. Hill had pressure, wraps it around back behind the net. Daniel Latch defending on Draper. Wolverines move it in front. Almost an opportunity, and there's a delayed penalty. It's going to be the Wolverines this time. Garrett Shifsky to the box, and he doesn't look too happy with the ref's decision.
No, he does not. Michigan coming to this game with the worst penalty kill in the Big Ten, so we'll have to see if Wisconsin can avenge themselves for that penalty kill earlier in the game.
That's certainly an interesting matchup. Coming into yesterday, Wisconsin had the best defense in the Big Ten, Michigan the best offense. We'll see how this plays out. The Wolverines down a man for the next 2 minutes. Face-off trickles right towards Barczewski. He'll make the smart move. Gloves it.
Yeah, they say defense wins championships, right? But last night it was all Michigan offense.
David Silya on the draw for Wisconsin. Marcus Stoppa for Michigan. Badgers come away with it, but Estapa pokes it away, and he'll clear the puck. Ben Dexheimer's behind the net to pick it back up for the Badgers. Cuts up ice, connects with Cruz Lucius, who, excuse me, that was David Silya, who then found Cruz Lucius. 15 and 51. Silya back into the corner under pressure, but manages to move it back out. Dexheimer now. Quick cross ice look, D. St. Paul. Back to Dexheimer and then Lucius again. Dexheimer from the Big Ten logo with a shot. It won't make it all the way to Barczewski. Marcus Stoppa finds the puck on the near side board, picks it up and clears it. The Wolverines will find 4 fresh legs. The Badgers as well. Dexheimer under pressure moves it up and receives it back real quick. He'll move the puck up to Finley on the near side, our goal scorer for the Badgers. A hit by Truscott separates him from the puck. And Michigan moves it out to Ernessy. Here's a one-on-one opportunity. Ernessy tries to cut in. Can't make anything happen. He'll pull up in the corner.
That was a really good play by Dylan Duke there to give all of his effort to swing his stick out and get that puck to Ernessy to get the puck out.
Finley looks for a cross-ice pass. Michigan tries to clear. It was Ethan Edwards, and it won't go. He'll recover and wrap it around the boards. Here's a 2-on-1 opportunity. Nazar, Ernessy, Palatachuk on defense. And Palatachuk stays with Nazar, and Nazar can't find Ernessy.
That was a really good job of taking away the pass there until the last second, and Nazar tried to force it.
Excellent defense. I think what we saw from Nazar was one of those brain freezes where he just didn't know what to do.
Yeah, you could tell he wanted to pass, and then he wanted to shoot, but then he wanted to pass again, and at that time it was too late.
You and I both played high school hockey at a much worse level than this. I'm sure we had plenty of those moments. There's another shot on Barczewski. Ricochets out, Shifsky picks it up for the Wolverines. Pressure down low from Anthony Kerr. He looks up ice to William Whitelaw. Whitelaw back behind the net. Casey pokes the puck away up to McGroarty. He looks cross ice. Moldenhauer at the red line. Over to Dylan Duke and then Luke Hughes. Back to Moldenhauer. Quick look on net. And an easy save by Kyle McClellan. I'm going to correct myself. That was TJ Hughes. Luke Hughes in the NHL now.
That was a great save by McClellan there. He is 4th right now in the NCAA in goals against average, about 1.776. Watch this replay right here. Moldenhauer has a lot of space. Tries to go right under between the glove and the pad, but McClellan shuts it down.
How about that play setup from Michigan? Really well spaced.
Yeah, when you have a forward crashing the net like that and a third guy up high, it gives him a lot of space as the defense gets sucked down below towards the goalie.
Tanner Rowe got a shot off a moment ago for Michigan. Draper picks up the rebound from the corner and wraps it all the way around to Duke. Duke back low to Draper. Michigan sends it back up to the point. He's under pressure, flips it down low. Seamus Casey in to fight for it. Nothing comes of it. Schulz picks the puck up behind the net. Out to Charlie Strammel. The Wolverines will clear it back down low. Zach Schulz taking his time, waiting for an opportunity. He'll drop it off to David Silya, who cuts back below the net through the neutral zone and finds Cruz Lucius. Almost an errant pass there, but Lucius manages to find it. Wolverines regain possession. Duke cuts down and somehow moves it on Kyle McClellan. I'm not even sure how the puck ended up there, Jonah.
Yeah, last night Wisconsin outshot Michigan 43-31, and Michigan came out with a 4-goal win.
Not only on the back of their offense, but defensively, Barczewski standing on his head. I mentioned it before, 42 saves, his high this season with the Wolverines.
Yeah, I'd say that was the best game of the season last night.
Brindley with the puck for Michigan, out to Nazar, who can't hold on to it, but moves it back up to Brindley, and it bumps off of him. He'll go offsides. Here's another look at Rucker McGroarty, the points per game leader nationally, 1.83. He's not only scoring, but assists too. An excellent decision and playmaker.
Yeah, what's interesting about that stat right there, so he averages 1.83 points per game, and McClellan only lets up 1.776 goals per game. So he is responsible for more goals per game than McClellan usually lets up.
Michigan back to play. And a quick dump. McClellan opts to hold on to it. We'll have another stoppage, 13:01 to go. There's a look at Owen Moldenbacher, a freshman and a Red Wings draft pick. So we should see him in the D pretty soon. Puck back in play. Badgers win the draw. It's Bantle. Good up ice look to Charlie Strammel. He'll take it into the corner, moves it in front, no one's home. Bantle again. A tough angle shot on Barczewski and a shoulder save. Back to Palatichuk. Cross ice again. Bantle scores, and the Badgers find their first lead of the series.
Great play setup by Wisconsin there. Carson Bantle was wide open on the left side and had a lot of net to work with.
He'll go and celebrate with his teammates for a moment there.
And head to the penalty box. He actually, he got a penalty for his celebration.
So there's
after the goal, right here, when he decks Tyler Duke after the play.
Before that, though, like you mentioned, a perfect cross-ice look. He was wide open and squeaked it past Barczewski. Two goals allowed on the first 5 shots.
It's difficult to move across from side to side as quick as that puck came in. But we'll see if Barczewski responds and puts up a stat line like last night.
McGroarty and Latch going at it. Wolverines come away with the puck, move it out to Casey. Down low to McGroarty and cross ice to Brindley. Again, Michigan on a power play. About 1:30 to go, and there's a shot. The crowd, especially at their angle, thought that might have a chance. Mike Vorlicki will get a stick on it, manages to clear it. Here's an opportunity. Silya cuts down, Brindley adding pressure, and he'll crash right into Barczewski. Whistle blows as the net comes loose. As the Wolverines race in to check on their goaltender.
Yeah, that's a difficult play if you're Silya, because you're trying to get that edge on the defender and you're trying to cut as quickly and as hard as you can towards the net. but sometimes there's just not enough space as the and you can see Gavin Brindley kind of shoves him into Barczewski, so that's tough, and no one wants to hit the goalie like that, but sometimes it's kind of inevitable.
So a break in the game, look at the Wisconsin bench. Let's take another look at how that happened. So Brindley is cutting in fast. And there's the collision. You run out of room, unable to make your move. You got a lot of inertia.
Yeah, there's some gray area in there if it's considered goalie interference or not. I think in that case, since Brindley was the one who gave him the shove, I kind of lets him off the hook. But in general, when the goalie's in the crease like that, it is your job to get out of his way and avoid him as best as possible.
Minute 9 to go on the Michigan power play. Down a goal. So 3 goals in the first 7 minutes of this game. Certainly makes for an exciting start here in Ann Arbor. Badgers win the draw back to their defender. He'll knock it right into the stick of Ethan Edwards, who plays tap and go for a moment. Drops it back to Moldenhauer. Moldenhauer under pressure. Over to Estapa. Puck trickles out in the corner. And Michigan moves it to the point. D to D now to Shifsky. He looks low. And the Wolverines move it back out to the point. Edwards can't hold on to it. Few quick passes back to Moldenhauer on the near side and low to Estapa. Frank Nazar jumps in there to pick it up, and the pass is tipped. Owen Lindmark got his stick in there for the Badgers. The Wolverines have to reset. 25 seconds to go on the power play. Like a baseball bat, Nazar takes one out of the air, taps it to Moldenhauer. He'll score for Michigan. What a sequence of events, Jonah.
Great hand-eye coordination to knock that puck out of the air. Prevent what would have been a clear on the penalty kill for Wisconsin and end up walking in. A great shot to the top corner of the net. Let's see here. Frank Nazar knocking it out of the air, and see how he has so much time and space. 2 Wisconsin defenders had already left the zone expecting that puck to go down the ice. So there was Michigan had numbers coming in, a lot of space. The Wisconsin defenders were sucked in towards the goalie, like I said earlier, and just a great shot by Nick Moldenhauer.
Frank Nazar is a Chicago Blackhawks draft pick, but he might get a call from the Cubs soon. How about that hand-eye coordination? Back to play. Badgers throwing the puck around. The Wolverines pick it up in their corner. Kieran Draper pokes it away. Here's a 2-on-1. He'll take the shot, and Michigan can't find the rebound. Another opportunity. Philip LaPointe squeezes it past Kyle McClellan. The Wolverines regain the lead.
That was a phenomenal shift by Josh Ernestine and Keenan Draper. Draper steals the puck in the neutral zone, carries it in, gets that nice shot off, and then passes the puck into Josh Ernestine in the middle for the goal. Just perfect shot placement under the pad from McKellen.
What a sequence of events we just saw. 5 goals in the first 10 minutes of this period, Jonah.
Yeah, like I said before the game started, it was all about, can the Wisconsin defense keep up with the Michigan offense, and maybe can the Wisconsin offense keep up with the Michigan offense?
They've done an all right job so far, but Michigan finds the 3 goals in the first 10 minutes that they found in the first period yesterday. Pressure on Fantilli in the corner, and the Wolverines move it out to Brindley in front of the net. Tapped out to McGroarty. The Badgers regain possession in their zone. They'll start moving up ice. Kerr drops it off to Latch. Up to Stramel. And Finley picks it up when he runs into trouble behind the net. Finley rips another shot he scored earlier. He moves to the corner, out to Latch for the one-timer, won't go. Errant drop pass. And Michigan picks it back up, but it's poked away from Shitsky. Holtz grabs it, bounce pass, over to Marshall Warren, and that one goes into the ref. Jonah, feels like the puck is just bouncing everywhere right now.
Yeah, Wisconsin got a little help from the ref there, and that's one of those things where the ref's trying to avoid, but you cannot avoid everything.
Hockey's a game of luck. Wisconsin will take advantage. There's a tough look shot and an easy save for Barczewski. Few moves thrown right after the whistle. The referee had to blow it a few times. But what an exciting first half of the first period we've seen, Joe.
Ten shots for Michigan to 8 for Wisconsin. Pretty even. Michigan's just gotten one more goal to squeak through, but it's been very even in terms of puck possession and forechecking.
Badgers were controlling. They'll turn it over to Estapa. He tries for Ernest, and Wisconsin regains control. It's Horbach. Up ice, he'll find Bantle, who moves it on net. A trickler to Barczewski, and there's some extracurriculars. Owen Lindmark is down behind the net.
Looks like they're going to take Jacob Truscott as well as number 8, William Whitelaw.
So there's another look at it. Estapa steps in. A little bit of a cross check.
Estapa instead of Truscott.
So Estapa and Lindmark in the box for their respective teams. And we'll get a taste of some 4-on-4 hockey.
Yeah, I think the Michigan defenders probably thought that Owen Lindmark tried to blow snow into Barczewski's face, which is obviously you're going to want to defend your goalie in that situation. But to me, it did not really look too intentional from that replay.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. Wisconsin wins the draw, but turn it over quickly. Hughes to Casey. Michigan marches into the Wisconsin zone. Quick escape move by Casey. And he'll try to wrap it around to Hughes in front, who can't connect with the pass. Cilia grabs it, moves it back behind the Wisconsin net. 4-on-4 opens up the ice, Jonah. Which team do you think benefits more here?
I would say Michigan. I think Michigan has more speed and skill compared to Wisconsin. So I'd say that it benefits them. I think they can open up the ice a lot more, get some more passing lanes, and really use their speed.
Cilia looks to drop it to the point. No one's home. And the Badgers have to reset into their own zone. Palatachuk up ice to Cruz Lucius. And he'll fire one. It's wide of the net. Out to the near side corner and back behind the red line. Lucius again at the boards. Cycles it back. The Wolverines are doing an excellent job boxing out the Badgers. There's an up ice look intended for Brindley, and it won't go. Palatachuk again tries for the net. Back down to the point. Palatachuk cycles it back. Fitzgerald cuts in. He'll move it over to the near side corner where Seamus Casey picks it up for Michigan. Drop. Back behind the net, and here come the Wolverines. A 3-on-3. Drop to Shifsky. Uses his speed. Cuts in. There's a rebound. And again, it won't go. Kyle McClellan with 2 big saves. 10 seconds to go in the 4-on-4. Finley cross ice. Wisconsin evens this one up. Matthew D. St. Phal ties it for the Badgers.
Yeah, we talked about how in 4-on-4 there's a lot of open ice. And you could see Matthew D. St. Phal, by the time that puck got past center ice, he was flying, crashing the net, getting ready for that pass.
What an excellent play setup by Wisconsin. Let's take another look at the replay. There's Finley, finds the cross ice pass, and D. St. Phal's cutting right in, driving to the net, throws the stick in time, and We're even at 3 with 6:20 to go in the period.
Yeah, Nazar did his best to get back on that play, but De St. Paul had so much speed, he could not catch up.
Another shot laid out on Barczewski. Michigan clears it. Estapa will chase. Vorlicki picks it up for Wisconsin. Edwards tries a pass. It won't go. There's another shot opportunity. Lindmark tried to grab his rebound to put it back to Barczewski. Here's some more extracurriculars.
Barczewski's getting involved down there.
6 goals so far, and the frustrations boil over behind the net.
Yeah, a lot of goals means a lot of emotion, which brings out fighting like this.
We'll see the verdict. It'll be just a Wisconsin penalty. Charlie Stramel to the box for the Badgers. We'll look at Stramel, Minnesota Wild draft pick, as he sits down. It's been a very high-scoring game. 2 minutes with an extra man on the ice. Jonah, don't count out the Michigan offense.
Yeah, Michigan's got their power play 1 unit out there right now, the same one that scored their goal earlier in the game.
Hughes wins the draw to Casey. Tap to McGroarty and back to the point. Little cross-ice action to Brindley. Rebound in front, and Dylan Duke finishes for Michigan. 7 seconds into the power play, Jonah, Michigan makes it happen.
That was almost the exact same play we saw from earlier. I feel like I had deja vu. Gavin Brindley one-timer right off the pad, straight to Dylan Duke's stick, right in the net.
You explained it just before our replay. There it is for your own eyes.
Like
I believe that deflected off of McClellan, and it's tapped in.
Like I said, that is Dylan Duke's office. That's where he operates from. That's where he scores his goals.
Tampa Bay Lightning draft pick wearing the A for this Michigan program. Dylan Duke, a junior, certainly come into his own here at Michigan the past 2 years.
Yeah, with 2 goals tonight, he now extends his active point streak to 12 games.
We'll have a delayed penalty. It'll be Michigan to the box next, and Wisconsin will pull the goalie for an extra man. Lucius buying time as the Badgers set up. They'll look cross ice to Cilia and drop back to the captain, Vorlicki. Badgers under pressure, dump it down low, and the moment the puck touches Barczewski's stick, a Wolverine will head to the box.
Looks like they're taking Keenan Draper for a hooking penalty.
Draper into the penalty box. So seconds after the Wolverines retake the lead. There'll be a 2-minute advantage for the Badgers. With 5 minutes to go, Jonah, it's very possible we will see an 8-goal first period.
Could be more with the pace we're going.
Tassi finds the puck, moves it cross ice for the Badgers. Back into the corner and low again. Pass out in front, the shot doesn't go. It's a nice setup for Owen Lindmark and poked away by the Wolverines, who clear. Minute 30 to go. Here's Finley. We've seen a lot of action from him tonight. The shot deflected in the air. Finley grabs it back out. And Shifsky adds some pressure. Badgers move it down to Lindmark. He tries to pass, recovers it. Out to Finley and Poladichuk at the point. Near side, Lindmark rips one. And there's that Barczewski glove in and out of the air. Stops the clock. A minute and 10 to go in the kill. This is a good time to talk about the goalies after that save from Barczewski. Kyle McClellan, 39 goals against to Barczewski's 37. A .930 save percentage for the Badgers, .901 for Michigan.
Yeah, McClellan's having a great season so far. Barczewski's had a few ups and downs, but looked really strong last night.
McClellan, of course, has the best defense in the Big Ten to back him up. 50 seconds to go on the Badger power play. Puck low in the corner. Excellent job by Seamus Casey. I think he dropped to at least one knee there. Buy some time for Michigan. Brindley adds pressure as the Badgers move it in. There's a shot attempted front and some more after whistle action. Carson Bantle had the opportunity in front of the net.
That was a really nice move to kind of get the positioning on the Michigan defender and try to slide that puck through the 5-hole. It almost worked.
.33 seconds to go in the power play. Another defensive zone face-off for Michigan. Estapa and Silya face off. Silya wins the draw, back to his defender. Cross ice to D. St. Phal. Back to Dexheimer. And over to the far side, low. And the cross attempt doesn't work.
That was the same move we just saw from that shot just a second ago, but instead of shooting it, he passed it across.
Wolverines are able to clear. That should do the penalty kill. 7 seconds to go. One final chance for the Badgers. Warren picks it up. Michigan's back to full strength. Garrett Shifsky will clear the puck down ice. Draper can't get there in time. Icing is called. Perhaps a little bit of frustration from Draper. He thinks he was close enough to call off the icing.
You always do, don't you?
Another face-off in the Michigan zone. Badgers move it back to the point. And that's an interesting shot. I'm not sure that was intentional or not. Nonetheless, ends up in the far side corner. Duke finds it, moves it to Fantilli, who has it poked away. Warren chases. It was Owen Mellenbacher moving it down low, and in comes Scholl. Jack Orbach finds it in the corner. And again, it's poked away. Marshall Warren bangs it off the glass for Shifsky to chase after. He'll win the race, but Anthony Kerr is there in time, uses the body to separate Shifsky from the puck.
Shifsky's been showing his speed today, really going hard after those pucks in the corners.
And that's one of the styles of this Michigan program. A very fast-paced team, unafraid of the forecheck. McGroarty controlling for Michigan, a little escape move out to the point. Casey cross ice, and Duke whiffs on the first shot, sends it back behind the net. Hughes picks it up in the corner. Duke was calling for it. He instead turns around. Moldenhauer comes into the rescue. Back to the point. Slid over to Seamus Casey. How about those two moves? Walking around defenders, he cuts in. Quick pass to McGroarty, doesn't work. Seamus Casey into the corner, another quick move. And the shot deflects around the glass and out to Hughes in the neutral zone. Luke Hughes moves it over to Casey. About a minute going on a minute now of Michigan possession. As I say that, the Badgers finally recover the puck. They'll move it back, and that's Zach Schultz moving it up ice. Wolverines pick up the neutral zone turnover. Ernessy drops it off to Brindley, tries for the shot, redirected into the net. Minute and 2 to go in the first.
Yeah, that sequence that we just saw there from Seamus Casey proves why he's one of the top offensive defensemen in this league. He's currently second in points per game among defensemen, only to Lane Hudson, who's also having an unreal season over at Boston University.
Two Boston teams ranked ahead of Wisconsin right now, who sit in third, BU and BC, I believe.
They're actually in a series this weekend. Boston College taking the 4-1 game last night. I'm curious to see how that game's going to end tonight.
Certainly adds tournament implications. Or I guess not really, they'll both make it. But interesting to see how it all plays out. Wisconsin tries for a cross-ice look. Brindley picks it up, moves it to Ernestine. Here's a 2-on-2. Dropped off to Nazar. Brindley open, and what a save by Kyle McClellan. The rebound won't go as well. Badgers poke it back out to the neutral zone, and Brindley dumps it down for Michigan. 30 seconds left in the period. Frank Nazar tries to find it. Finally, it's cleared. Ben Dexheimer dumped it out. A fan catches it, which earns the praise of the children of Yost. Clock is stopped, 24 seconds to go.
Crazy sequence once again from Michigan. Frank Nazar passing it over to Brindley for the one-timer. Great save by McClellan. And then another shot from Ethan Edwards goes just wide.
That's a tough look for Edwards. He had a little bit of an open net. We were mere inches away from an 8-goal period, Jonah. There's still 23 seconds, though. Defensive zone face-off for the Badgers. David Silya facing off against Mark Estapa. And the clock operator has to have a word with the referee.
The children of Yost are anxiously awaiting this puck drop. And it looks like we're good to go now.
If you're a referee, you gotta have thick skin, but man, the children of Yost would get to me in a minute. Badgers clear the puck. Seamus Casey picks it up in the neutral zone. Moved over to McGroarty. He'll dump it down low. Duke kind of gets the elbow from Finley and falls. And Casey picks it up again. Estapa now, 7 seconds to go. Over to McGroarty. One last look for the Wolverines to the point. Duke fires, and that's right into the chest of Kyle McClellan. 1.3 seconds remain on the clock.
Yeah, one thing I'm curious to see here if Michigan's going to do this again. They did this last weekend against Michigan State. Kind of a similar situation, offensive zone face-off with about a second to go. They pulled the goalie to get an extra attacker to crash the net. You know, it might not be much with that much time left, but it is something, gives you a little extra hope. It does not look like they're going to be doing that tonight, though.
Not worth the risk for the Wolverines. Here's the draw, one back into the corner, and time will expire. We've had 20 minutes of action, and in that, 7 goals. Do you believe it? Silya wins the draw for the Badgers, and they'll look up ice quickly, stopped back behind the Michigan net.
Yeah, those of you at home just missed a really, really good rendition of the Single Ladies by the Michigan players they put on the Jumbotron during intermission. So.
Shout out to Bree Marich and her team at Fan Experience for that video. You got a favorite 2000 song, Jonah?
It's got to be all the Single Ladies, man. You can't beat it.
We are both 2003 babies, so I guess, you know, that's our era. Icing is called 31 seconds into the period. Back and forth action to start us off.
Michigan with their second line out there right now with Dylan Duke, TJ Hughes, and Shifsky. Duke with that huge first period, like we mentioned.
2 goals, and we heard from him in the post-period interview with Jaden. Faced off against David Silya at the draw, and Silya controls the puck now. He looks down. How about that shot with a tip from Cruz Lucius? It won't go. Lucius picks the puck up in the corner. Out front, there's another opportunity, and it's wide. Cycled back down from the point. Christian Fitzgerald cuts in, and Truscott's about to be called for a trip. David Truscott in the corner. Little aggressive play and puts the stick in the wrong position. Badgers will be up a man for the next two.
Yeah, looked to be a cross check in the corner there. Puts a stick right on the numbers, just something you're generally not supposed to do.
That's a lot better than a trip. God, I got that one wrong, huh?
Well, now it's Wisconsin's chance to respond with their power play. We'll see what they can do here.
So Wisconsin up a man. Fitzgerald can't keep the puck in. Ernessy with a one-on-one opportunity. He'll go wide and tries on McClellan. Doesn't work out. Badgers pick the puck back up. Here's Lindmark. He'll cut down the ice into the corner, drops it off to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald takes a moment, fires. It's off the legs of Warren. He'll pick it back up and move it down low. Opportunity in front for Tassi, who whiffs on the one-timer picked up at the point. There's the shot, it's tipped in front. Wisconsin evens this one out at 4.
Just a great setup from Wisconsin. Had a lot of traffic in front of the net. I don't think Barczewski saw that. Got tipped at least once, may have been twice. Let's see.
We'll take a look at the rebound. I think it was Simon Tassi on the tip. And there he is in front of the net.
Either way, we're tied at 4. Already 8 goals, a minute and a half into the second period.
Yeah, so Simon Tassi evens this one up. It has been an exciting start to the second period, and ref takes a little tumble. Play continues on, back in the Michigan zone. So an effective power play for the Badgers. They'll try for another opportunity, and Jake Barczewski gloves it.
Here's Mike Hastings in his first season with the Wisconsin Badgers. Just came over from Minnesota State, who we brought to the championship game of the NCAA tournament just a few seasons ago. He's actually never had a losing season in any team he's ever head coached since going back to 1995. It's a really impressive resume.
That is a ridiculous statistic. With the Badgers' performance so far this season, 19-5-1, I don't think that streak will be broken. McGroarty looks down ice, fires one, it's too high. Whistle's blown as the puck heads into the netting.
He just missed off the right side of the net there. It's just sailed on him a little bit.
So defensive zone face-off for the Badgers. 17 shots for Wisconsin, 15 for Michigan. Even score at 4. Wisco wins the draw. Stremmel moves it over to Bantle, and a delayed offsides allows Michigan the opportunity to recoup. McGroarty cuts up ice, runs into trouble at the blue line and loses it. Schulz picks it up in the corner. D behind the net, and a lucky poke out to Lindmark as the Badgers dump the puck in. Stremmel playing for it, poked away by McGroarty. Brindley will cut up, drop back to McGroarty. A pass tried for Nazar, doesn't work, and Michigan tries to wrap it around the boards. Picked up behind the net by Palatachuk. Here's a 4-on-3. Lot of red rushing into the Michigan zone. Shots redirected off the board. Stremmel rips it around. Lucius tried to get there in time, but it's poked into the neutral zone. Lapointe adding pressure as Lucius controls. He'll take a long look up ice to D. St. Phal. St. Phal behind the net in a little bit of a tussle with Truscott. It trickles out. Lucius looked for the puck, couldn't find it. And the Badgers move it up to St. Phal again. Over to Cilia, he'll take a shot. There's an opportunity for Lucius once more. Can't find it. The Wolverines move the puck. Up ice it. Heads out into the crowd.
That was a good matchup for Wisconsin there in lines. They had their top scoring line with Day St. Phal, Lucius, and Cilia out there against the fourth line of Michigan with Rowe, Draper, and Moldenhauer. So they really wanted to take advantage of that matchup. Michigan's happy to get a whistle on that one.
The Wolverines were being pummeled. They needed a break. They'll settle for the defensive zone faceoff. 16-17 on the clock. It's a 13v13. TJ Hughes versus Christian Fitzgerald on the draw. A premature movement on the draw. Earns a reset. Fitzgerald pushes the puck forward. Casey grabs it in the corner. Up to Duke, who tries to move it back. Luckily, Casey steps in to pick it up for Michigan. Hughes tipped off to Duke through the neutral zone, and Duke tries the bounce pass off the boards for Hughes again. Moves all the way over to Kyle McClellan. I've said it before, he takes a safe route, covers the puck to get another stoppage in play.
It's a nice little give and go with TJ Hughes and Garrett Shifsky there.
Very effective playmakers for Michigan. We'll have another defensive zone face-off for Wisconsin. Hughes wins the draw. Duke takes the puck, fires. It won't make it all the way to McClellan. Cross-ice pass doesn't work out. Picked up by the Badgers. Fantilli tries for the body. It works at first, but then Palatichuk comes in. Picks it up to keep the puck in the zone for the Badgers. So it comes out to him, he rifles it back down. There's a cross-ice pass out to the point and over to Whitlaw. Whitelaw back behind the net. Almost able to find Owen Lindmark in front. Pass was interrupted, and Latch picks it up in the Wisconsin zone. His long pass to Horbach just earns the tip, so there's no icing on the play. The Wolverines can't clear it. Stramel tries to make something happen. It won't. Ernessy moves the puck up ice. Here's an attempt from Moldenhauer. And we have a delayed penalty coming for the Badgers.
Looks like an interference call for number 21, Carson Bantle of Wisconsin. Once again, giving this Michigan power play a shot at McClellan after scoring 2 goals on the power play in the first period.
Very effective for Michigan so far this season. Latch clears it, and not only does he clear it, but D. St. Phal will have an opportunity. Cuts down low and manages to push it into the backside of the net. Brindley picks the puck back up for Michigan.
We'll see if Wisconsin decides to put an extra guy on Duke in front of the net, which has pros and cons. Pros, you probably prevent Duke from getting that rebound in front of the net, but it also crowds up the front and allows for more screening on McClellan.
Wolverines move the puck all the way around the zone, and Seamus Casey tries a shot right into the chest of Kyle McClellan. That'll take 34 seconds off the power play for Michigan. How about a look at head coach Brandon Naranjo, his second season, full-time head coach with the Wolverines. 641 his record, 38-30-6 in these 2 years, and Michigan fans have to be pretty happy. A Frozen Four appearance last year in Tampa off of his back.
Yeah, he took over as an interim head coach after the team separated from Mel Pearson. He did a fantastic job last season.
Wolverines win the draw. Quick shot from Brindley. And Kyle McClellan dives on the rebound. One thing we've seen from McClellan tonight, he's a little bit more on top of rebounds than he was yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. And I think looking at this power play again right here for Michigan, if they're going to be putting guys out front to like kind of stop those rebounds from getting to Duke, as we saw twice in the first period, they're going to be looking to get more shots from the point because of that crowd. Maybe hit some few sticks, get a few tips, and it'll be difficult for McClellan to stop those.
A minute 23 left for Michigan's extra man. Offensive zone draw won by Michigan. Brindley looks cross ice. McGroarty rips it, and it's wide. Back to Casey at the point. Over to Brindley. He'll cut down low. Tries for Hughes, who loses it. How about that escape move from Seamus Casey? He'll try to cut in. It won't go. Sauces it out to Brindley, who just barely keeps the puck in. Back down to Casey at the hash marks. Tries for a cross ice pass, and it's intercepted by Palatichuk. Brindley back down low for Michigan. Another nice move. Looks over to Shifsky. He tries to move it back to Moldenhauer, who finds the puck but can't hold on to it. And Edwards grabs it in the neutral zone. The Wolverines will reset 35 seconds to go in the power play. Michigan. Frank Nazar specifically tries to drop it off to Estapa. It won't work, and the Badgers clear it once more. Final 15 seconds for the extra man. One last power play opportunity for the Wolverines. Moldenhauer drops it off as the Wolverines move it over to Nazar. Out to Edwards. Far side, Moldenhauer rips one. Runs into trouble quickly. Daniel Latch on the block, and he chases the puck into the corner. Off to Dexheimer and up to Bantle. Bantle holds on to the puck at the point. Over to Scholl. Here's a 2-on-1, and Scholl tumbles as he tries to put one off on Barcheski.
Yeah, that play for Wisconsin developed starting at their own blue line when Ethan Edwards pinched in, got an unfortunate bounce off his stick, off the boards, and Wisconsin had two guys right there to pick up the puck and fly down the ice.
So the power play doesn't work out for Michigan. There's another look at Christian Fitzgerald, wearing number 13 tonight for the Badgers. One assist to his name.
He transferred over from Minnesota State, which is where Wisconsin's coach Mike Hastings came from this season. So he clearly wanted to keep playing for him.
Pulled a few players on that jump, who now proudly wear the red and white. Michigan controlling in their own zone, but under pressure, they'll move it out to the neutral zone. LaPointe fighting with Horbach for the puck. Ernest picks it up at the Big Ten logo. Draper almost had himself a lot of space there, but can't hold on to the puck.
I've been really impressed with this fourth line of Michigan today, with Draper, Moldenhauer, and Rowe.
Lindmark cuts in for Wisconsin. Moves it out to the point. There's a shot, tipped in front. And how about Barcheski getting aggressive and poking that out to Hughes?
It's not often you see a goalie come that far out of the net to poke check something like that.
Trescott finds it for Michigan, moves it up ice to Hughes. He's got Latch on him, drops the puck off to Shifsky, and back to Hughes in the corner. Nice little pass as Shifsky tried to cut in. Doesn't work. Stramel moves it over to Whitelaw, but he can't hold on to it. Michigan clears it way up ice. Hughes and Latch in a battle in the corner. Out to the hash marks where Latch picks it back up, tries to move it to Stramel. Won't really go anywhere. Picked up at the point. Here's a shot. Tipped it maybe off the skate or stick of Duke, I'm not sure. And back out to the point. Circled, back behind the net. Hughes under pressure, takes the shot, and Marshall Warren will pick it up from the corner. Another one laid out on McClellan. Whitelaw and Warren get tied up on the one-on-one. Whitelaw cuts in, tries to pull a move on Barczewski. It won't go, but Barczewski's without his stick now. So that's an important grab for Michigan. Barczewski can regain his stick. Brindley looks for a pass to Holtz. Buck on the far side wall. Poked out, and the Badgers look to restart some offense. Stramel dumps it in for Wisconsin. Cilia moves the puck to the point. And the Wolverines have another opportunity. Brindley loses control of it just before the blue line. And Nazar goes offside. Stoppage in play. 10:02 to go in the second. We're tied at 4.
Yeah, if Brindley gets a clean grab on that puck, there's a good chance he's gone for a breakaway. He's got a lot of speed.
So almost an opportunity for Michigan. The goal scoring has slowed at least a little so far. 10 minutes in, 1 goal this period for Wisconsin, where they evened us out at 4. A very even game, too. 20 shots for the Badgers, 19 for the Wolverines. So the Badgers win the draw. Vorlicki cuts up ice, drops the puck off in the corner. Seamus Casey rips it around the boards, and Tassi keeps it in. Tyler Duke plays it from the far side wall, looks up to Ernessy, can't control it, and Vorlicki picks it back up. Long pass back to Tassi. Hill cut back to try and set something up, rips a shot, a tie. Puck laid out in the corner. Estapa steps in for Michigan, and he's got plenty of time. Moves on to the puck, finally under pressure, and pokes it to the neutral zone. Jack Horbach whiffs on a long pass attempt. Draper tries to steal the puck, but the Badgers are cover, and Finley will dump it down. Stop behind the Michigan net by Barczewski. Tyler Duke goes through the legs. It doesn't quite work. The Badgers keep it in. Lindmark lays another shot out on Barczewski. That one cuts into the 5-hole before it stopped.
Yeah, neither team has really been able to get much offensive zone possession time in the past few minutes, so we'll see how they do in the second half of this period coming up.
And it truly is an honor and privilege, both of us juniors here at the University of Michigan, to televise this game and bring it into your home.
Yeah, I know Michigan early action decisions came out yesterday, so if you're interested, obviously when you get on campus, I strongly suggest it. It's one of my favorite things I've ever done in my entire life. So
come to our mass meeting, get some free pizza, get into sports broadcasting. 4-4 our score, 8:31 to go in the second. The Wisconsin bench, no, not exactly the spot you want to be, but a lot better than where they were this time last night. Only 1 goal scored the entire game. The Wisco offense has come alive and kept pace with the Wolverines.
Yeah, I've been really impressed. They only averaged about 3.5 goals a game on offense, so 4 already halfway through the game is very impressive.
And I'll ask this for you for both teams. As Wolverines regain possession, is it more errors leading to the goals, or just really hot defenses against really hot offenses, against defenses that are struggling some?
I think Wisconsin has been taking advantage of Michigan's errors a lot more than Michigan has been taking advantage of Wisconsin errors, if that makes sense.
That does. Michigan's offense just doing what it does best. Exactly. And on the flip side, you're saying the Wolverines' defense has struggled at times.
Yeah, they've had a few bad turnovers in their own zone. At least one of their goals, Wisconsin's goals, have come off of it. So
Michigan back in possession. Brindley Looks cross ice, and how about that? Almost an opportunity for Frank Nazar. Can't control it just in front of the crease.
That was a phenomenal area pass by Gavin Brindley, anticipating where Frank was going to be at the time.
Warren picks the puck back up for the Wolverines, moves it up to McGroarty. Brindley will chase. Schulz is there and sends it over to Vorlicki. Moldenhauer gloves the puck, pulls it out of the air and dumps it back down. Vorlicki D to D, and a long pass up ice stopped at the red line. Michigan picks the puck back up. Seamus Casey making a few moves into the corner. He'll try for a pass to Estapa, and Schulz grabs it behind the net. Owen Mellenbacher in the corner fighting for it. He'll come away with the puck. Whips it around the boards, and Michigan can't keep it in. A little bit of a push there from Whitelaw, and he'll go down after a one-on-one versus Ernessy. Scholl gets in there to pick it up. Scholl rips a tough angle shot on Barcheski. The puck still below the red line, out to Latch. And finally, the Wolverines are able to clear. Latch moves it over to Kerr. Kerr dumps it in. Barcheski can't stop it behind the net. Fantilli will chase for Michigan. Simon Tassi in there as well. Trickles out to the Wolverines. Tanner Rowe pushing up ice for Michigan, and he'll run into trouble in the corner. We'll have some help from Draper. And Edwards keeps it in, but it goes into the netting. Another stoppage in play. 5:31 left in the second. How about a look at the Big Ten standings? Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Notre Dame are top three. Minnesota, Michigan, and Penn State and Ohio State round it out. So Jonah, this series, what implications does it have for the standings?
It has a lot, not as much for Wisconsin, but for Michigan. If they want to host a quarterfinal game for this tournament, they're going to have to overtake Minnesota in the standings at least. So a sweep here tonight for them would be huge in terms of Big Ten standings. Also in NCAA tournament implications as well. Michigan's kind of on that bubble in terms of pairwise rankings, so this would be huge.
Ranked number 14, but of course, multiple conferences, the champion get an automatic bid. Wisconsin, D to D and down low as they cycle the puck through the zone. Jack Horbach under a lot of pressure. Drops it off to Palatichuk and to Dexheimer. He rips one. Jake Barcheski uses the glove on the rebound. It's another save.
Wisconsin's been looking hot so far in the offensive zone past few minutes, so we'll see if they can maybe jam one in here.
Horbach ripped a quick shot and a nice save from Barcheski. See if we can get another look at how that played out. There's the cross-ice pass. The rebound from Lindmark. A few extracurriculars thrown in there as well. Nazar wins the draw for Michigan. Moved over to Brindley and up to McGroarty in the neutral zone. Wrapped around. Nazar will stop it at the far side board, and Fantilli grabs it after it trickles out. Truscott up against D. St. Foul. The pinch works out. Truscott lays it out into the corner. Nazar off to Brindley. McGroarty, a one-timer, and a quick save right into the pads of Kyle McClellan.
Big hit from Gavin Brindley. He's not the biggest guy, but that just shows with speed and determination you can make things happen.
Brindley drops David Cilia right by the boards, and you can see the fans getting into his face. Wisconsin moves the puck back into Michigan zone. Stramel drops it off into the corner and down to the point. Vorlicki rips one, it's wide, and heads all the way up into the netting. We'll have a stoppage, 4:01 on the clock.
Yeah, that was both teams' top lines out there, and I think you saw Michigan get the better of them in the first part of that, but Wisconsin had a nice drive at the end of that shift. So
really, you know, we're tied. I think the momentum has kind of been split here. Both of these teams play a fast style of hockey, a lot of turnovers, and I think the question is who can capitalize on that neutral zone turnover next?
I agree, and then in addition to the neutral zone, you got to look at things like penalties. I know we've been talking about it all night, but Michigan, #1 power play in the country, and they just continue to show why. So that's, if you're Wisconsin, you cannot afford to take penalties coming into this third period.
Got to stay out of the box. We saw a big shot and rebound. Nice save by Barczewski there, and no one was home for the rebound. Wolverines bring it down into the Wisconsin zone. Ernest tries for a shot. Casey picks it up in the corner. He'll take his time, tries to wrap it in front. Ernest can't control the puck. Vorlicki dumps it into the corner. Duke gets it off the stick before he takes a hit. And it's up to Moldenhauer, a 1-on-2. Moves past one defender, cycles behind the net to wait for some teammate support. Here's a drop-off pass. Truscott on a one-timer right into the chest of Kyle McClellan.
It's a powerful shot from Truscott, but just right into the chest. My coach always used to say, there's no hole in the middle of the goalie. I think we saw that right there.
I like that. That's good. You see, when I played high school hockey, I shot anywhere but the net, so I wasn't even worried about where the goalie was. Offensive zone face-off from Michigan. One back to LaPointe, but he can't hold on to it. Wisconsin dumps the puck into the neutral zone. Truscott will find it. Over to Edwards. Back to Truscott on the near side. Tanner Rowe chases for Michigan as Daniel Latch picks it up for the Badgers. Over to Tassi. He tries the long pass into the neutral zone. Edwards pulls it out of the air. Draper will get a stick on it, but can't control it. Latch moves it back down, but then, again, the neutral zone turnovers. They're crazy. Here come the Wolverines. Quick pass to Rowe. Edwards tried to get a shot off on front, and then, I believe that was Rowe with another look. Badgers dump it off to Warren at the point, and he'll cut in to the corner. Cycles it around. Duke out to Edwards at the opposite side point. Hughes grabs it this time. Far side boards, and two red jerseys on him. Michigan manages to move it in front. Hughes dives in. He's tripped up and can't get a shot off. Dylan Duke tries to move it to the corner. Finally, the Badgers can clear the puck. Warren and Fantilli chasing under pressure from Fitzgerald. Fantilli through the net, tries for a pass, won't go, and up to Hughes. He'll move it back to Fantilli, out in front, almost a perfect opportunity. Garrett Shifsky was waiting, but the puck couldn't make it to him. Badgers, another opportunity. How about that drive? That's Jack Horbach who cut into the net. And Wisconsin retains possession. The pass in front doesn't go anywhere. Shifsky grabs it. He'll cross the red line. Michigan will get 5 fresh legs on the ice, or I guess 5 fresh pairs of legs.
The speed that both teams are playing at is really fun to watch right now. You have one chance at one end at 1 second, another chance on the other in a quick second. So it's been exciting.
This speed is Big Ten hockey at its best. Brindley tries for a move. McGroarty moves it over, receives it back, takes a quick shot, and what a save from McClellan. Scholes picks up the puck behind the net. Tries for Lucius, who has to extend his stick with one arm. Can't control it after. D. St. Phal grabs it in the neutral zone and dumps the puck in. Cilia behind the net. And he can't control it. It's out to a point, and there's another shot on Barczewski. 24 seconds to go. Vorlicki back to Schulz. Tries for a look, and Brindley drops down to a knee for the block. Michigan clears the puck, 15 to go. The Badgers will post up. That's Zach Schulz taking his time to a chorus of boos from the Children of Yost student section. Doesn't matter. Period ends. Wisconsin finds the back of the net and evens us out 4-4. Before we head to break, Joni, your final thoughts.
Yeah, you can see both teams started to settle down towards the end of that period.
The Wolverines, a particularly elite power play and offense in general. We're back to the action. Latch controlling up to Lucius for the Badgers. It's poked away, back down to Lash in the Wisconsin zone. Cilia grabs hold of it in the neutral zone, cuts around and controls the puck. Lucius adds a little tap of the stick to move the puck down to Dylan Duke. He'll pull up back behind the net, has Nazar and Casey, and he'll take his time. Long pass down ice, controlled by Nazar. Dylan Duke dumps it low. McClellan gets a stick on it, and he's a little late to get back in front of the net. Almost an opportunity for Duke, who will lose a glove. Meanwhile, the puck poked into the neutral zone, and there's going to be a late, delayed penalty coming. Wisconsin, and you just said they shouldn't do this. A Badger's going to the box.
Yeah, and that was just a really unnecessary penalty by Daniel Latch. I'm pretty sure what they're calling him on is knocking away Dylan Duke's glove that got loose during that play. It's penalties like that that are just so unfortunate if you're on the Wisconsin Badgers, because they're, like I said, so unnecessary.
A really tough one. We'll take another look at the replay. There's Latch cutting through.
Yeah, he looked like Duke was going to grab his glove. Latch moved his stick to push the glove away from him, which I guess they're calling interference, meaning that he couldn't get his equipment and kind of took him out of the play.
Now this is interesting. Latch returns to the bench, so I think what happened was they had the wrong guy at first. That better explains why we couldn't figure out what Latch did. It's Quinn Finley in the box for what happened in front of the net. Here's an opportunity, a quick shot and a rebound, and a delayed penalty is coming for Michigan.
That one on Gavin Brindley, but that may have saved a goal there. Really good opportunity for Wisconsin.
But that just throws away the man advantage Michigan had. Wolverines lose control of the puck. Brindley can't hold on to it. And so he'll trip up Owen Lindmark and then grab hold of the puck. I'm not sure that trip was necessary to the flow of the game.
Yeah, we saw earlier in the game a 4-on-4 situation really similar to this, and Wisconsin came out with a goal. So we'll see how things go here.
So 4-on-4, extra space on the ice. Badgers win the draw. Dexheimer cuts in, tries for a shot. Easy block by Barczewski. Cilia grabs it, tries to move it to the point, but it trickles out of the offensive zone. Under pressure, Cilia moves all the way back. Drops the puck off to Dexheimer. Up to Palatichuk. He'll take a shot, and there's another rebound opportunity. Nazar grabs it at the near side boards. Moves it into the corner, back to Nazar. Tries to send it out, can't. Lucius recovers the puck, rips a shot, it's high. Latch in front, tries for the cross-ice pass, and good stick work in front to poke that puck away. Now McGroarty gets a poke, chases after the puck, but Latch recovers it and pulls up behind the Wisconsin net. He'll look up ice. Tassi finds the puck at the blue line, trips down and tries to move it to Fitzgerald, but instead it ricochets all the way around the ice. 30 seconds left of 4-on-4 play, to be followed by about 15 seconds of a Badger power play. Edwards cycles the puck around the boards. Duke's there, but can't grab a hold of it. Errant pass. And Hughes keeps the puck in the zone for Michigan. Dropped off to Edwards. 7 seconds to go in this 4-on-4. Duke and Hughes working in tandem behind the net. He tries to move it out to Edwards. The puck will reach him. And Michigan now down a man for about 15 seconds. 10. Puck's into the corner. Badgers come away with it and start to move up ice. Finley will instead pull up. Ernest adding some pressure, and Michigan returns to full strength. So 16:35 to go, the 4-on-4, and both power plays over. Wisconsin seemingly controlling right now as the Badgers dump it off to Fantilli in the Michigan zone. Quick give and go. Ernest dangles one Badger, tries to cut around another. He'll take a shot. Easy save from McClellan. Ernest moves it to the point. A low shot wide by a few feet. Fantilli rips it around the boards. Picked up by a red jersey and flipped into the neutral zone. Estapa gloves it, moves it to LaPointe, who chases after it. Dexheimer grabs onto it for Wisconsin. He moves it low. It's poked back out. Here's a chance for Michigan. LaPointe can't do anything with the puck, and Rowe has to poke it back in. Cycled around to Duke at the point. He takes a shot. That's off the skate of Palatachuk. And up ice the Badgers go. William Whitelaw heads into the corner. Bumps it off to Owen Mellenbacher. He finds a man in front, but it's poked away. Latch can't keep the puck in. Dumps it back in for Brindley to tip back into the neutral zone. Cross-ice pass is risky and tipped. Brindley grabs hold of it. Hill cut low and takes a tough look at McClellan, who absorbs the puck right into his chest.
Yeah, Wisconsin controlled the play for a lot of that shift. Michigan could not get the puck into the Wisconsin zone. As we take a look here at this play by Brindley. Uses his speed to get to the outside and rifles one, just a tough angle. It's easy to play when you're a goalie.
So another save for Kyle McClellan on your screen now. He's taken 29 shots, saved 25 of them. Wolverines win the draw. Shot attempt tipped onto the far side corner. Trickles out to Brindley. Another rebound in front. Nazar can't control it. Truscott tries a shot. It's wide. Brindley picks the puck up in the corner, moves it to McGroarty. He finds Nazar in front. There's a shot through the 5-hole. Michigan regains the lead. What a sequence of events, Jonah.
Great passing by this Michigan team. Honestly, credit to Gavin Brindley. In that far corner, used his speed, used his quickness to gain space, get that puck over to McGroarty on the other side, as we'll see right here. Defends the puck with his body, gets it to McGroarty, gets it over to Nazar for the 1-T.
We saw the perfect operation of the triangle there. Two men behind the net, one at the point. And Nazar, you know, if you're Wisconsin, you have got to pick up the center. Nazar's left alone, able to just rip that one through the 5-hole of Kyle McClellan. 14:32 to go. The Wolverines lead by a goal. We're officially up to 9 tonight.
Nazar with his 3rd goal of the series as well. He's having a big weekend.
So a hat trick weekend. Tonight, 2 points, 1 goal, 1 assist. The Wolverines carrying the momentum as well as the energy in Yost Arena tonight. Moldenhauer in a battle in the corner. Poked out by Palatachuk. He's trying for Tassi. It's picked up by Fitzgerald. There's a look, it's wide. Dexheimer will keep it in. Bumps it low. Marshall Warren gets a stick on it. Moldenhauer steps out to the glass to play it. Finley with another look. He scored earlier tonight. It's wide. Hughes and Tassi in the corner. It pokes out to Moldenhauer. And here comes a fast break for Michigan. There's a shot opportunity for Marshall Warren. Little offensive action from the D-man. Ernessy adding pressure as Wisco rips one from the point. Trickles into the neutral zone. Shifsky grabs it, hands off to Ernessy. Ernessy can't quite make it to the blue line. Dumps it in, and Schulz picks it up, moves it up ice. Ernessy in hot pursuit of the puck. Orlicki grabs it, moves around the net. And Truscott can't find it in time to prevent the Badgers from moving it into the Michigan zone. Bantle in a fight for it. He won't win. Michigan comes away with the puck. And Estapa dumps it down ice. He did not cross the red line, however. It'll be icing. 12:53 on the clock. Michigan up a goal.
Yeah, one thing I think we're going to see Wisconsin take advantage of going forward is Michigan tends to leave the weak side of the ice really empty and open for a Wisconsin player. We saw that on De St. Paul's goal earlier. Just in that play in the Michigan zone, Wisconsin had a player wide open on the weak side. Couldn't get the pass through, but they're going to be able to take advantage of that if that keeps happening.
Sawyer Scholl, listed as a left winger, takes the draw for the Badgers and wins it back. Palatachuk, D to Dexheimer, who goes cross eyes to De St. Foul. Badgers can't make anything of it, have to reset in the neutral zone. Scholl tries for Whitelaw and cycles it up. Casey's there for Michigan. De St. Foul moves it back. Whitelaw in there as well. Again, the Wolverines will come away with it. Ernessy tries to get a stick on the Edwards flip, but it's back and forth action in the neutral zone, and Michigan pokes it back down ice. The Badgers recoup, march through the Michigan logo, and dump it down ice. It's a battle for it in the corner, trickles out. A lot of pressure there from Duke. Finally cleared it, but it'll be icing for Michigan.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Michigan because they just got their top line out there on that change, but since it's an icing, they're not allowed to change the players on the ice. So it's going to be difficult for them to get the puck out of the zone and get that change off.
Look at Jacob Barcheski in net. 23 saves to his name tonight, and then there's Kyle McClellan. 24 saves for him. Very high-scoring offensive game. Michigan wins the draw. They'll clear the puck. This time it will not be icing. And there's that first line change the Wolverines needed. Silya up ice, connects with Tassi, but nothing comes of it. Warren grabs hold. Frank Nazar now for Michigan. Here's a 2-on-2. Dropped off to Brindley. An opportunity. Shoots. It's wide. Fantilli will keep the puck in at the blue line. And Palatachuk grabs it after the Badgers cycle it around. They'll dump it off into the neutral zone and then the Wolverine zone. Marshall Warren skates to the blue line, pulls up and dumps it in. There was a lot of dump and chase last night, especially as these teams started to grow tired. I think we're seeing that again, Jonah.
Yeah, and you want to get that puck in the opposing team's zone and get that forecheck going. That's what generates you those chances when you get those forecheck turnovers. So that's what both teams are looking to do right now.
Offsides called on Wisconsin. 10:53 to go in the third period. This sure has been an exciting one tonight. 13v13 on the draw. Hughes versus Fitzgerald. Happens to share a last name with you, Jonah. Any relation?
I don't think so.
Maybe a long-lost cousin. Hughes keeps it in the Badger zone. A lot of pressure behind the red line, and Moldenhauer can't make it work. Out to Bantle. He'll dump and chase. Casey's there for Michigan, but under pressure. Reverses the puck, and the Wolverines opt for the long clear. It's just enough to draw an icing. 10:23 our time. Michigan up 1 here in the third.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned how both teams start to get tired towards the end of games, and that's when they're starting to do that dump and chase tactic, try to get that forecheck and those turnovers. That may be some issue that Michigan has struggled with, is getting tired towards the end of the game. We know that they've been blowing leads consistently throughout the season, so that might be a part of it.
Badgers win the draw. That was a little precarious in front of the net, huh? Moldenhauer in a fight for it. Hughes picks up the puck along the boards. Tries to pass it to Duke, and Hughes loses an edge. And he'll lose an edge again. Latch grabs the puck for the Wisco defense, up ice to Horbach. He'll dump it in. Duke picks up the puck behind the net, up ice to Ernest. And back into the Michigan zone to reset. Through the neutral zone again, Ernest dumps the puck in, Shifsky to chase, and Dexheimer's there to whip it around the boards. Sawyer Scholl grabs it, dumps it around. Barczewski stops it behind the Michigan net. There's a long pass intended for Ernest. Palatichuk picks it up instead, and he'll go off sides. Gavin Brindley controlling for the Wolverines. They'll dump it down. Dexheimer moves it around the boards, and the Wolverines steal it. McGroarty lays it out cross ice. Brindley chases, he can't hold on to it, and the Badgers look up ice to Finley. He'll run into trouble with Edwards. Tripped up, no call on the ice, and almost an opportunity there for Tassi. Schulz cuts in to keep the puck alive for the Badgers.
Dangerous pass from Frank Nazar across the middle.
Wolverines will get 4 fresh legs on the ice. They'll dump it low. Brindley adds some pressure and comes away with the puck. Duke will keep it in the zone. Badgers pick it up, dump it in. And Jake Barczewski isn't taking any chances. 8:29 left in the third. Good call, cover it up.
Yeah, Michigan's going to start playing, I think, a little more conservative coming into the end of this game. Like we said, Wisconsin only averages about 3.5 goals a game. So I think Michigan's going to try to park the bus, stop the Wisconsin offense, and just try to stop those self-harming turnovers that they've been having in their own zone.
Draw in the Michigan zone, won by the Badgers. Drop back to the D. Latch moves it up ice. Stramel out in front, it's tipped, and the Badgers tie this game at 5.
Phenomenal tip by Mellenbacher in front of the net. That puck was going wide. And it hits just the heel of his stick. It slides to the 5-hole. Take a look right here. Just perfect placement.
The right position at the right time, Owen Mellenbacher. Red Wings draft pick, a 6'2 freshman from Fort Erie, Ontario. Scores the goal Wisconsin needed. And just like that, Jonah, we are tied at 5.
This game has been so back and forth, so exciting.
I'm not ready to mention OT yet. Plenty of time to go in this game, but we may be on track for some free hockey. Puck back in play. Here's a 2-on-2. Lucius tries a toe drag. It won't work on Fantilli. Ernest recovers the puck out to Estapa, who dumps it low. Cilia tries to pick up the puck on the boards. He will this time. Moves it over to Lucius. Lucius, using the backhand, dumps it in, and the Wolverines pick it back up quickly. Estapa drops the puck off into the Wisconsin zone. Philip Lapointe in pursuit after a Michigan turnover, but the Badgers can clear the puck up ice. Icing waved off after it tips off a stick. Barczewski plays the puck from behind the net. Draper trying for McGroarty, and McGroarty's able to move the puck into the Wisconsin zone but can't keep hold of it. Badgers dump it down through the neutral zone where Michigan pushes it back up ice, and Palatachuk recovers it, sends it over to D. St. Phal, and then Michigan again recovers the puck and dumps it way down. A lot of back and forth hockey, Jonah. Wisco back on offense. Owen Lindmark can't hold on to the puck. Gets poked away by Brindley. Cross ice to McGroarty, who looks for Nazar, gets tripped up, and some fans unhappy with the lack of a call. Play continues. Badgers will hold on to the puck behind the net. It's Anthony Kerr. Fakes the handoff to Finley and then opts to use him. Moldenhauer pokes the puck away. He has Hughes. Hughes has an opportunity with Duke. Can't close it off. Back to Duke at the hash marks. Tries for the cross ice pass. It won't go. So back to Wisconsin now. Finley up to Tassi, and he can't control it. Michigan recovers on the near side board to Moldenhauer and the dump in. For Lickies back behind the red line to pick the puck up for Wisco. And the Badgers pass it around a few times below the red line. They'll cycle it back once more under pressure. Michigan's gone hard, and it's been a very successful forecheck for the Wolverines tonight, Jonah.
Yeah, it really has. I think they're gonna, like we talked about, that dump and chase just to get the puck into the Wisconsin zone, and that's where you get those chances.
Estapa and Ernest on a fast break. Estapa pulls up, drops it in front of the net, and it's poked away by McClellan. Garrett Shifsky behind the red line, cycles it out to the point. Shifsky and Palatachuk going at it in the corner. And an opportunity in front to stop a one-timer. And it's saved by Kyle McClellan. In the right moment, he comes up big.
Yeah, great stop. It looked like Estapa couldn't get the contact on the shot he was looking for. But regardless, great save. Way to get over in time by McClellan.
I think that one was a roller. Mighty Ducks might call it a knuckle puck. So a face-off in the Wisconsin zone. And we are even, 30-28 in shots, 5-5 in score. It's been an exciting game. Under 5 minutes to go. Here's an opportunity. Cilia rips one, and a nice save there from Barcheski. Wisconsin still with the puck, out to Latch, but he can't control it. Will he keep it in the zone? He will. Bantle, Cilia. Bantle tries for something, opts to move it down to the point. Here's a chance for Frank Nazar, a little one-on-one. There's the move, and the shot won't go. Nazar loses his stick. Anthony Kerr with some excellent defense for the Badgers. Michigan recovers, moves it out to the point. Seamus Casey tries to cut in. Finds Nazar in front, but he can't hold on to the puck. McGroarty grabs it from the point. Casey gets a tip on the shot. Still nothing. That was quite the 30-second spurt of energy from the Wolverines, Jonah.
It was. And great job by Frank Nazar in the corner. He lost his stick, but he didn't give up on the play. He continued to play the puck with just his legs and was able to regain possession for Michigan. Into
the zone comes Seamus Casey. He can't hold on to the puck. Moldenhauer drops it off. And there's an errant shot down low. Back out to the point. Casey tries another shot. It's wide. And Dylan Duke pinches to keep the puck in for the Wolverines. You saw the D get a quick change. A good use of Michigan possession to get some fresh legs. Hughes tries for a shot. It's into the defender's skate. The Wolverines need to reset through the neutral zone. Tyler Duke at the near side, drops it off to Fantilli at the point. A quick shot, saved by McClellan. Arnessy in pursuit of the puck, up against Daniel Latch for the Badgers. Draper thought he had it, he will now. He tries to move the puck in front of the net. He had Fantilli at the point. Wolverines will use the point this time. Marshall Warren drops in front. There's a tip. Ernestine, the rebound, and oh my God, Kyle McClellan falls on top of the puck just in time. Brindley in hot pursuit of the puck into the corner, and he'll whip it around the boards to Truscott. Truscott under pressure, goes low, back to Brindley, who has to drop it off. Good read by Truscott to cut in, out to Nazar, an opportunity in front, and Michigan still can't finish. We're down to 2:20 to go in the period. McGroarty dumps the puck back into the corner again. Nazar pursues, 4 fresh pairs of legs on the ice for Michigan, and an errant pass drops the puck up to Nazar. Moldenhauer can't hold on to it, however, and Frank Nazar goes for a change. Finley up ice to Simon Tassi, who tries for a shot. Sent to the skate of Tyler Duke. Drops off to Casey and then to Hughes. Hughes to Dylan Duke. He can't hold on to the puck. Strong defense from Palatichuk. A little bit of an offensive spurt from him here. He has Scholl. There's a shot on Barcheski. And Palatichuk recovers it. Barcheski's down. Manages to get back up as the puck at the hash marks on the near side. Michigan able to move the puck out to Hughes, and whistle is blown. It looks like Barcheski.
I think he lost his skate blade. He can't stand up. Yeah, the ref's going to grab it. Trainer's coming out to give him a new one.
David Silya on the draw for Wisconsin. The Wolverines come away with the puck. Nazar in pursuit. Latch picks it up instead. Errant pass, however, bumps it around the neutral zone. Silya grabs it for the Badgers. Looks up ice to Lucius. He can't hold on to it. And Michigan once more moves up ice, but turn it over quickly. Here's Bantle. He has Silya. A minute left in the period as Edwards blocks the shot. Up to Nazar, and if that pass was a little farther ahead of McGroarty, he might have had a real opportunity there. Instead, Michigan dumps it off. The Badgers will buy some time. 40 seconds to go in the period. An explosive D. St. Phal cuts around the net and maintains a hold of the puck. Here's a 2-on-2. He'll cut in. There's the shot and a rebound. Hughes bumps the puck off the glass, and it ricochets all the way down into the Badger zone. Cross ice. Palatichuk in control now. 17 seconds to go, and D. St. Phal dumps it down for Wisconsin. 10 seconds. D. St. Phal in front, tries a shot off the shoulder of Barcheski. Another opportunity, and the whistle is blown as the puck, I believe Barcheski was on top of it just behind the goal line.
That was a crazy chance for D. St. Paul there. It almost popped up right in the little area above Barcheski's right shoulder.
Barcheski didn't see where that puck landed. That would have been an insane way to end this game, huh, Joe?
That, yeah, with 5 seconds to go, it would have been crazy.
5.9 seconds on the clock. 34-33 in shots, 5-5, tied on the scoreboard. Final opportunity. Badgers win the draw, cross ice, quick shot, won't go, and time expires. Jonah, what's better than regular hockey?
Free hockey.
Free hockey, you got it exactly right. 5-5 our score at the end of the third. What a period it's been. Correct me if I'm wrong, but earlier you told me Wisconsin does practice on Olympic ice, correct?
That is true. Their home ice in the Kohl Center is Olympic size ice.
So they have a little more experience perhaps with more ice in front of them. Brindley cuts down, and you can see the speed you can accumulate when you have all this ice. Casey drops off to McGroarty. Here's a shot. Glove save by McClellan. Badgers recover possession, and remember, these turnovers are all the more important in 3-on-3 hockey. When it comes down to it, it's a game of keep away.
Yeah, it's all about puck possession in overtime. in 5-on-5 play, you're always going to try to keep the puck in the offensive zone, but in 3-on-3, you're really not scared to take the puck away if you can possess it better.
Dexheimer subbed himself out for Anthony Kerr. Finley controls in the neutral zone. Gorgeous cross-ice pass to Fitzgerald. He'll rip one and score! 57 seconds into overtime. Wisconsin finishes this one out. And what a shot that was.
Yeah, phenomenal play by Wisconsin. It's all about that softer pass in the neutral zone. Gave them that 2-on-1 opportunity, and Fitzgerald brought it down the side, looked off the pass, and shot it far side, off the post and in. Just a great play all around.
So after a 5-1 loss last night, the Badgers save face in the series and split in Ann Arbor with Michigan.